Hey guys, welcome back for another Carnage Report. My name's Jomo, and we're here.
24, I'm Sketch, joining us.
Hey, glad to be here.
Andro, Fantasia.
What's up?
Welcome, Mr. Tashi.
Hey, I'm Kyle.
With Kyle. Yep. And we're going to talk about the newest and greatest Halo updates that just were announced. So we got a big update coming on January 30th.
Yep.
With a whole bunch of new stuff, and you and I just both watched the 1 hour and 9 minute presentation.
I would call it the State of Infinite announcement, because it was primarily focused on the January 30th with a little bit of a look ahead at what's coming or maybe not coming.
Yes. And, I want to skip to an update that was mentioned at the very end of the presentation, because when we hear a January update, we're like, okay, no problem, an update to Halo. But not quite, they talked about getting rid of seasons.
I found that hilarious. Literally in our last video, I'm like, they finally achieved seasonality. Great job.
Perfect.
It's a real life service. Now you know what this means, though? This is like, okay, it's like a two-tier announcement. It's like, okay, on one hand, it's good because now cosmetics are purchasable in the store.
Yep.
And a lot of them be just free through these operation passes, right? There's no more paid battle pass, is what it sounds like. But it also indicates that they're basically just done with the game. Like, bare minimum is a lowest priority. They're working on Halo 7.
Well, they're not giving themselves any deadlines now. There's no accountability. It's like, well, wait until the next update, whenever that is.
No, but this is them, like, weaning it off. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, there'll be a couple maps with maybe a new gun. Like, there's not maybe a new gun. I don't know. It's going to be bare minimum just to kind of keep the money rolling in, things exciting, and then they're going to start talking about the next Halo. Halo Infinite, as everyone guessed, is Halo Finite.
Yeah, just take out the N.
Yeah, N.
So, it's a good segue into the first thing that they mentioned in the update, which was these cosmetics. And I know this game has been out for 2 years now?
Maybe almost 3.
Almost 3? I feel like whenever I hear them talk about cosmetics, it's jarring, because you have 3 guys who are just like, oh yeah, that looks great. That's so awesome. Oh man, dang, that looks good.
If you're in a certain fans do really get into that. Like when they did the announcement, there was just a silhouette of the Mark IV armor, and everyone on Twitter was losing their minds about this. I'm just like, okay, another core I'm not going to use. But, people do like that. I don't want to, dismiss it too much. So it's like, okay, it's for a certain crowd, and, it's... I guess it's good.
It's crazy how, there's not much to talk about in terms of, variety. It's, cosmetics, there could be a new map, and maybe a new game mode, and Forge, and that's it. But there's no, big things, you can play as elites now. And we have a whole new elites and brute armor.
Without getting too far ahead, the cosmetics, man, I love how they're like, oh, we got cross-core shoulders now. And they're patting themselves on the back. It's like, you know what?
Oh.
Mission accomplished. Like, what about chests, legs? No, we're done. It's cross-core. Everything you need is there.
No, I'll just add to that, man. I'm looking at my notes right here. It's really funny how he says, it's really cool how we unlocked this ability. It's like, you did not unlock it. You just added something that should have been there and was kind of expected to be there from the very beginning.
Dude, bots had cross-core from the beginning. In the bot boot camp, they would have cross-core armor.
I'm gonna do the quote, but we might even upload the actual quote, what they say. But they say, I think shoulder pads represent really the pinnacle. We check the most important boxes there. Yeah. It's as though the shoulders are here, and now all the problems are solved.
Exactly.
Yeah, the heavens have blessed us. It's like really? It's like, this is what it's like. You Halo Infinite fans and players are kind of put into a dungeon, right? And they're only fed so much. And then eventually you start really appreciating just that extra glass of water or juice. Oh man, or meat. Wow, sunlight?
Maybe a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome happening here.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Because now, it's like, who are you kidding? You're fooling us and you're fooling ourselves. It's like, this is not a big deal. Yeah, I guess it's a big deal for Infinite in terms of content, but it's it's sad how it is. This is what gets us excited. I'm thinking of other games, updates, and here's a whole other new mode and all these other things you can do, and... No.
Well, to be fair, the stuff they were talking about with Forge was pretty exciting, I thought.
Yes.
Again, they really hampered in the fact, too, just because you don't forge doesn't mean it won't be good for you, because you'll benefit from custom games and things also making into matchmaking. So yeah, like there was the forge, like the flood palette with all the objects, the covenant palette.
Yeah.
And then I really like the alien trees and stuff they showed at the end too. Like lots of cool ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how I never use Forge, so I just assumed like you could just do everything, but clearly not. There's a lot of missed potential because they don't have the right tools or...
Well, it's more like it just simplifies things, because the way they add scaling objects and stuff before, like people could take a bunch of other objects, scale them, position them, merge them, and kind of make what they need. But it's obviously better to have like one object that's exactly what you need, as opposed to having to make like 6 or 7 to kind of approximate it, because there's an object budget for your map, right? So that allows you to do more elsewhere. Same with when they're talking about how, I think that, again, it's a bit above me, but they're saying how scripting was no longer counting towards your budget.
Yeah, so it allows people to use more stuff in like in their entire map without
and like
limiting.
It bakes it in, because I think we ran into that where we were trying to like download custom game maps and then types, but they were like separate or something. I think now they're combined. We're not good at this stuff.
No. So don't be gentle with us in the comments about our understanding of Forge and how big of a deal this is. But it sounds like
I understand that it's a big deal. And I understand like consistently, like Forge has been like the saving grace of this game. Honestly, it's the one thing that's been consistently better than previous Halo games. So there's that at least. Yes.
And that's great, to hear about these improvements, because it's going to add more maps. Later in the presentation, they talked about how the sort of the process of taking maps made by players and how they add them to playlists and that kind of vetting process, and so it will definitely add to the experience. But kind of going back to customization a little bit, we got the Mark IV armor core, and apparently it's free. It's a free core.
Well, all the cores are free now.
Okay, so all the cores are free.
But they also mentioned how they had was it the Mark V was last season, but it wasn't a core, it was a kit, which is kind of just like overlaps over what you're wearing, kind of.
Oh man!
So this is an improvement over that.
Okay,
it's actually something you can customize.
Wow, I don't customize my Spartan at all. It's almost like a protest to the whole monetization, even though I have stuff that I could use. But now they have upcoming operations, which they've now said you can just more customization, like battle passes.
Yeah.
So this is something I missed, because there's no more seasons. Seasons were kind of had the battle pass involved,
well,
right?
Season would be
now
you have a battle pass with like there was 100 tiers and it was 50, and then you get credits for the next battle pass. They replaced that, and then you would have the events within it.
Yep, events.
The events and seasons are now kind of combined into operations, it sounds like. The issue though is events, like the last time they did the yappening, it had like modes attached to it. They didn't really talk much about that. I'm not saying they're not going to do it, just like it's weird that they'd mention all these operations, but it's literally just like fresh battle passes and not like, oh, well, in this one we're going to add this mode. And it doesn't have to be very complicated, just like the Tenrai sword and grapple hook mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just something simple you can make in Forge and custom games. Like I'm surprised they didn't announce how they're going to tie that stuff together. Maybe they're not going to.
Now operations are able to be purchased after they expire. So it's kind of like buy up battle passes before, where if you missed the battle pass when it was happening that season, you could like purchase it again. So it's just kind of giving you more stuff you can kind of buy.
Well, it's the same but better, right? Because now it's like, well, if you do an operation in like the 6 weeks it's available, and as we know, they're not very hard to complete. So just throw a few double XPs, play once a week. You seem to be able to finish it.
I kind of like, now you bring it up, it is kind of nice, because it's sort of like, hey, if you play it while it's available, you're contributing to the player base. You get these rewards. If you missed it, at least you can purchase it if you really wanted to.
The only wrinkle is they mentioned that like alternate AR weapon model or whatever. It's like, well, if you buy the premium, you get this. It's like, oh, I guess they have to do that.
Yeah, you're
it's
talking
kind
about
BS.
You're talking about the Halo Championships series.
No. It was like it was very quickly. They mentioned there was like I think it was an assault rifle kind of based on the original Halo.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
and like the only way to get it is if you buy the premium track for the. Or is it premium, or you just buy it, the operation pass?
Oh, I see.
So it's like, oh, I might have misheard, but that's what I caught. And I was like, oh, so there's still going to be a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's just...
Gotta be.
I don't know. It's just... it's all about just how do we get more stuff for you to buy cosmetics. That's all it is. And it just
well, that's why you and me have an advantage if we don't care about cosmetics. It's like it's perfect for us. Like not perfect, but it's like at least like we're not being harmed in any way.
No, we're not being tempted by it.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I gotta get that or whatever. It's I don't know. It just
it does
the whole
sound
thing kind of
like
bothers me.
More will be free than before. It sounds like, but
Yes.
whether or not that happens in execution, we'll have to wait and see. Because these are smaller passes with less items on them, and as they're scrolling through them, it's like, man, there's a lot of like nameplates and emblems in there.
Oh yeah,
Not a lot of like weapon models and charms and armor.
The problem is like when you're completing these passes or these whatever operations, you're just really working towards getting that thing you really want, which it might be just one thing.
Yeah.
And then you're getting all these little junior things that really don't matter, just to help you speed it up or to make it easier. So it's all just about getting this one thing that you could have in reach just played and then just purchased with the in-game currency that you didn't have to pay for with real money, and just get what you want.
Yeah, that's like what 15 years ago at this point. I don't know, whatever old it is.
Yeah, but
it's like another lifetime ago.
I know. There's a whole like change in the whole market and
besides, man, one man's trash is another man's treasure, as they say. Like I bought that battle pass last season, just to get one weapon skin, and I bet you that's a very unpopular weapon skin. But for me, it's like, oh gosh, I'm finally tempted to buy something after years of being like having dangled in front of my face, like. Oh, finally, and like, so it could be anything, whatever it is. It might just that one person likes that. Oh, God, have that nameplate.
Well, yeah, I guess so. If you have enough customizable objects, there's gonna be something for everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, there's probably been something I've liked that just never have.
You haven't
liked it that
enough.
much.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to new maps, or should I say new map?
Map. Yeah.
Illusion.
We spoke of it last time. We had the leak already. Remember?
We did.
Yeah. I said, an upcoming Illusion. Now I didn't know the gimmick though. The gimmick's kind of interesting.
I'm surprised in a pleasant way. Like that's like really cool thing. The fact that there's certain areas where camo is available.
Area.
Like, or area.
It's like camo field you walk through.
Yeah, that's fresh.
It's different. Yeah, we'll see how it mixes. I imagine that puts it in the social playlist and not the competitive. We'll see. But
I'd be very surprised if that was a competitive.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to go in there. Because if that sword's missing, no one's going in there.
For sure.
The guy's just like in there. He's like, come on. Don't you want to be cloaked?
What's the advantage? None.
Oh, no. It's just chaos.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for social. I don't think it's gonna happen for ranked.
I also think they're really like the hosts of the show that were like nutting over the aesthetic of the stage. It's like, it looks just like Plaza. The Forge version of Plaza is just all gray. It's the same. Like obviously it's dev made, so there's more attention to details. Giant fan in the ceiling, and it looks okay, but this game has too many just like bland human interiors.
Oh, and they were like, it started to get me excited when they're like, oh, here, it's an Oni facility. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they show like what's in it. It's like they're researching the old CE camo triangle thing. It's like, oh, they're researching that? Like, you mean that thing that was like from the very first game? Like,
I don't know the lore behind that though. Is that like a Covenant technology though?
I think so, but it's just kind of like, it's not that cool. I mean, it's cool, but it's not that cool. And it's not new. It's just you're kind of rehashing old stuff, and which is what Halo Infinite's all about that anyway. So I'm just thinking in my head like Halo 5, whatever that level is, where you with the waterfalls in the middle and like St. Helios, like you had those statues of like that was new. We didn't see something like that before, and it was like grounded in like Halo lore. So why can't we have like a map where it's just kind of in the area of an old Halo battlefield of something where we haven't seen, like, oh yeah, remember that mission? Like, this is that area, but it's like after the battle or whatever. It's like, that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, there's nothing wrong with the aesthetics of this level. It's more just like you have this entire universe to play in, and they just keep consistently just doing gray, bland interiors. I imagine it's because if they go too sci-fi or too colorful, they kind of alienate the COD kind of mature crowd. They like to try and like get in there. I don't know if they're still actively trying to get the COD crowd, but I do know that during Reach, that was like a thing I noticed. It's like, oh, it's got that gritty military look, right? And I think that was the idea because Halo 3 looks like action figures, like colorful toys, right?
Yes.
By comparison.
Yeah, it's this is like my cynic side coming out, but like when I heard about the director for like the forging, it's more like, hey, why don't we just let the public take care of all the hard work, and then they'll just make stuff for us, and then we'll just pick that and then add it instead of working really hard to make something really crude. Like,
well, even worse too. Like, I knew they picked like maps from Forge. It's a great idea, but it's like, and they can help us get them up to snuff. It's like, no, why don't you just take it and you get up to snuff? Like, it's not. I guess you could give the opportunity, but it's not really an opportunity. It's more work.
Like, I remember that being something cool before, where it was like, whoa, someone's doing that. Like, remember, like in Halo 5, I think you would get like that whale helmet or something if you did that, and it was like, oh, that's like something really side. But now it's like they're hiring people. It's like, we need your help in order to make this game going.
The game's done, so it's up to us now.
Yeah, it's like, like, you need us? Why don't you take care of it? And like, what we add is a bonus, not just keeping it alive.
Well, I mean, they are adding at least one new map. Is that?
Yeah, one. And then they added, let me see here. So we also have some Forge community maps included in BTB.
They all look kind of bad. Like, I'm sure they play good, but like visually, I was just like, oh, more of it. They kind of look like the existing big team battle maps we had, like when the game launched, where it was just kind of green on Halo. Yeah.
It's nice. I'm not mad at that. I'm excited to play it. Who doesn't like a new map?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, oh, that's it. Oh, and they're like that. Oh, well, all right.
Yeah, I think they only had like maybe 2 or 3 dev-made big team battle maps after the initial batch. I don't think there's too many. Which I guess any number is more than Halo 5 had, so... Because it had none, if you remember.
No,
It was all Forge.
Oh, is that right?
For Big Team Battle, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was just... Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, moving along.
Yeah, something is improvement over nothing. What do you know?
Oh, that's where we're at. That's all we... Halo's such this huge IP, and we're just like, well, at least we had something.
Yeah.
Oh...
Like we were talking about like one of the biggest announcements. I don't want to get ahead of you, but we're gonna roll the networking code, like the new networking model out to all the modes. I'm pumped about that, and I shouldn't be. It should have just worked. But it's like, oh man, if this is gonna work, this is because last time we did a video, predated the announcement of even the workshop because they've been workshopping it for a while in like firefight and then squad battle, right? So last time we did a video, I was like, I really wish they would fix the networking, but they're never going to do that. So, like, I'm glad they acknowledged it. I'm glad, they're making big changes, it sounds like. We played it briefly. I didn't notice much difference, but it was firefight.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
Yes. Like, I mean, like, I don't know.
We'll find out when they roll this out.
That's not the most test. That's not where you can really, like, you're testing it, but that's not where you can really tell the difference because you're fighting AI. But when you're fighting someone else, you can really tell, like, was that on point? Did that make sense?
You're probably not even aware there was like a big like ranked refresh like right before this announcement where they were talking about how like they moved a bunch of weapons and stuff around for competitive play, whatever. But one of the big things they did was they said, oh, we removed all the objects that get punted around, like crates and fruit and all these like dynamic objects, because it like affects the desync and lag in those areas. And then, like, in some of the Forge maps, like the Plaza remake, which I'll continue to call Plaza remake because I forget its name.
Okay.
Anyway, that one, it's like certain areas, they had, like, Forge object rocks coming in the ground, and they would put, like, a flat plane over it because that makes it easier to walk on, right? But those, they overdid the planes. I think I watched a video from Shyway. He was talking about that. So, like, they have to, like, remove some of these objects just so it works better. And it's like, that's interesting. I didn't think that was the issue, but...
maybe I don't understand how maps are made exactly, but when I think of them making a map, like, not from Forge, they're, like, making something that's clean. And just, like, here's this very well-structured, nothing's being used that isn't actually in use. Like, it's like a sculpted model there. There's not, like, stuff that's hanging at the bottom or
well, those objects
out there.
Are meant for immersion, right? And it's like a 2-tier thing. Like, apparently it was affecting networking, which, get rid of them. But it was also, like, for competitive, like, say a cone gets launched at you, your guy might accidentally clamber the cone.
Yeah.
Anything random like that is, like, gotta be out competitive, right?
Wow.
So.
Man, I didn't think... I guess it makes you appreciate and value, the Halo games before and those experiences. Yeah. Because we didn't have those kind of issues.
Maybe they didn't care as much. Who knows? These guys might overcare, like how they removed the needler from like every map because it's too fun. That's the whole pro scene thing. I don't know. I don't get it. So it's like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's like, yeah, I never heard about that in the old Halo games. It was like, oh, there's no needler in any map now.
That's a thing.
In ranked. It'll still be in
ranked.
social.
I mean, it is a good weapon, but still, it's a part of the game.
It's like it's them combining ranked and HCS into one thing that makes this a problem. There should be a separate ranked for the casuals to kind of still grind.
Yes.
And then there should be the actual HCS playlist for the real pros.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I think that would be better because like they're two different populations. They're not the same. None of us that are playing ranked are expecting to get into a competitive community like that. Like
it's two separate goals. Like I want to be the best in the world. Oh, I just want to be pretty good and see how I can get. You know, actually ranked. You probably have something to talk about there too at some point.
Well, let's see here. Upcoming features, more rewards, more earnable content. There's a small comment about dressing cheaters. They say at some point this year.
Yeah.
So we don't know. It's coming.
Well, they've already
somehow.
covered their butts, too. They refer to it as an arms race, which kind of implies that the minute they catch up, the cheaters will find some new way around, which is true, but to immediately mention, like, oh, we got anti-cheat coming, but that's just to keep up with the arms race. It's like, oh, so you really have no intention of, like, or eliminating cheating. That's not your goal.
It's like, we're still working hard at it. I don't know if it's actually going to fix it, but we're still working very hard.
Something will happen.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just jump into like the biggest news for us anyway.
Well, it's two tier, right? I hope you got the other part written down.
Well, the biggest thing I have here is ranked updates, which is ranked Slayer and ranked doubles as permanent playlists.
And that's very exciting. That's what we've been asking for since the beginning. Slayer specifically.
Yes, which has, again, just want to say it, it's been there since the very beginning of Halo. It's like the standard mode, and it hasn't been a permanent...
Well, ranked arena is like the standard for ranked play, I think. But, we prefer Slayer.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, do prefer Slayer.
Yes.
I think there's definitely a crowd for it. There's got to be.
Yeah, well, they said in the presentation, it's like, there seems to be a population for it. It's like, well, yes, certainly.
The big thing, too, is like, currently... The issue was like the UI and like this long list of playlists to go through. So if you want to find what you want, there's like, they don't want like 40 things on there. They want just like a couple so you can find what you want fast. So the reason this is happening is because they're introducing the kind of mixtape matchmaking that MCC has, where it's like you just kind of say, I want to play Flag, King of the Hill, Slayer, and then it'll search for matches based on those, as opposed to you saying, oh, I gotta go to the King of the Hill playlist, I gotta go to the Slayer playlist. And I think if by basically putting all social modes into one search for what you want mode, that frees up lots of room to put rank Slayer, Team Arena, rank doubles. Like, they could probably get down to like 6 things on that list.
Why wasn't that introduced before?
Yeah, that's the weird thing too. It's like, it's not like it's some new idea. Like Halo Master Chief Collection has it, and then before that, like I remember seeing in Titanfall for the first time, like Titanfall 2, which predates that came out like when Halo 5 came out. Titanfall 2 was new, so like they've known about this feature. They've known it's a good idea. Just do it.
I don't know. It's like Halo's in a vacuum, and nothing else that exists currently could be influencing their work.
But that's like the opposite of what's true, though.
Oh,
Halo's been constantly accused of chasing trends.
Oh yeah, since Halo 4.
Like Halo 4 is the kill cam. It's got the streaks. It's got the loadouts, and Halo 5 has the advanced mobility. It's got the aim down sights. And then the new one, open world we chase for Halo Infinite.
So it's almost like it's like, but then people didn't like it, but they like this. It's just, I don't know.
Well, and they're apparently. For years, there's been a rumor that certain Affinity, who generally made maps and such for Halo games, like as this kind of support studio, has been working on a secret project. Everyone suspects it was Halo Infinite Battle Royale. But now the rumor is, maybe we're not doing that because Battle Royale, if they've been chasing that trend, they're a little late to catch it, I think.
And gosh, I can only imagine how terrible it would be.
Who knows?
Like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna put 100 Spartans on an island, and
yeah, we can't handle the soda cans on the map, let alone 100 players.
I mean, in a way, I'd like to see it just so like how bad it is.
Well, on paper, it sounds awesome. Like so many things they try, right?
Oh well, like who wouldn't want like 50 on 50? And like imagine 3. What are those big helicopter like
Falcons?
Three Falcons flying around, giving people support on the ground, or someone's got like 2 Phantoms or like that'd be amazing, but. That's like...
Well, they're still working on the Falcon. I saw another video recently of the Falcon further along in development. It's coming.
Yeah.
it comes, no one's going to care, but it's nice that's coming. Like, that's the big thing. Like,
We have news.
You go through
It's
this
good.
whole list, it's like, no, not a single new weapon. Like, is the Bandit the only gun they're going to add to this game? Like, I thought for sure there'd be like some just basic one-hit kill shotgun or some new thing that fills that gap. Like, just basic things.
That's what I'm saying is like this update again is like predominantly like fixing things and putting things that should have already been there to begin with, and customization.
Yeah.
Like, it's really just it's Halo and dress up. You know,
Halo dress up edition.
Halo dress up edition. It's just like, you know, that used to be something that like was the side thing, but you came for the game, the maps, the modes, the excitement of everyone playing on these maps, and all this crazy crap that could happen. But now it's like, well, I can't wait to put on this new suit so that it's pretty awesome the first couple weeks, and then I'm going to get kind of used to it, and everyone else looks like me, and
that was a big thing that always turned me off of the cosmetics too. Is if it's all like set to a battle pass, it's basically just like, oh well, whatever the newest armor is on the battle pass, most people are going to wear. So if it's all about like self-expression, you're not really self-expressing. Like, we have one friend who basically just is wearing whatever's on the newest battle pass. Hey, I don't blame him; he paid for it, right?
Yeah, if he wants to, yeah.
But it's like, when a match starts, it's like, oh look, it looks just like him on the enemy team. It's got roughly the same things on.
You know, like, this might be a bad comparison, but I think of the Wii and the me verse and being able to create your me. You know, there's so much creativity. People could people did things. You're like, well, how'd they make that? How'd they do that? You know, that's really cool. We don't have that here. There's no surprise. It's like, whoa, look at that. No, I saw that in the shop. Oh yeah, I know about that. Yeah, that came out. Like, just a bunch of these guys. So the creativity's not there. Like, except for the Forge. Like, obviously you can do that, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost if like they could add the same finesse to the creation of your Spartan that they do to the maps, but they don't want to because they need to monetize it. They need to like segment all these things.
Yeah, it just really limits a lot of gameplay elements with this model for microtransactions and.
Well, even think about like the shader, right? Like, not only can you not choose your own colors, when you apply the shader, it just kind of goes on the Spartan. Like the same thing in Destiny, you can at least put on individual armor pieces separately. So if you want one shoulder to have this shader on it, one to have a different shader, you can do that. So at least there's a little bit of room for expression. Whereas here it's like your visor and your whole body. Those are your two color options. And then the color options on your body are locked into the shader or the weapon coding.
It's very limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest that we have here is just HCS team skins and HCS roadmap, which I don't know.
Certain people, if you're into that, that's very interesting. Good to know. The only funny thing about that was how they said certain teams are returning, certain teams aren't. That happens.
Okay.
But like the returning teams, you can now buy those HCS colors and such again.
And some of those look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
But the ones that aren't coming back are now like super rare because they can't sell you the old skins for the teams that are no longer coming back. So had you bought them before, you got something kind of cool that'll never come back unless
never say never.
Yeah.
Because they might just say, you know what, I know in the last update we said this, but now since we need more crap for you to buy, we're going to allow you to buy those skins.
There might be some legality involved in this case though, because it is technically an organization being represented.
Yeah. So maybe. Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's pretty much it for the updates.
Yep.
So, in summary, like, how did you feel about it?
It made me really excited to play Halo. Of course, excited in the sense that like when Rank Slayer and the networking comes out, that's great. But it did leave a bit of a sour spot with the whole like the writing's on the wall. This game's just starting to become what I want it to be, and they're gonna throw it out. Hopefully, next game is good from the start. We'll see. Because that's what we're looking at. Halo Infinite's it's winding down. You can really get that sense.
Man, it was a good 10 years in 3 years.
Well, none of us expected the 10-year plan, especially at that launch.
That sounded so ridiculous. To say you're going to do anything for the next 10 years. It's like,
Destiny did it. They said 10-year plan way back in the day for the first Destiny. Everyone laughed at them.
Yeah.
Final Shape is their 10-year... Actually,
that's
past 10 years.
It's Bungie, for you.
Well, I mean, these guys could have done the same thing, but
maybe
it's probably better. Like, we haven't loved Infinite. We've come around to it a bit. It's gotten better,
definitely.
But if the next game launches just in a better state, I mean, it's not going to hurt us.
I'm just worried that this is going to be a stain on the entire IP. It's like the show isn't that great, the game isn't that great. why would anyone come back if there's something else coming out?
Well, especially because
it better come out before GTA 6.
Halo Infinite, man, right from the start, it was the nostalgia return to form marketing. Like, they showed, like, Chief in that Warthog and the open ring Halo. He's this classic armor, the piano notes. Like, that was their chance to bring back everyone who's been disillusioned by the franchise. And they blew it.
They brought him back, and then they lost him.
So, we'll see. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe now it's like, oh, this isn't working. Let's go back to the Halo 5 style. And everyone's angry but us.
Oh, man. This will be a totally different tone. It's like, it's not the Halo Carnage Report. It's the Halo, like, Rejuvenation Special, you know, talking about how great everything is.
Like, not E3, but the next Xbox presentation rolls around, and, like, you see a Spartan walk up, and then he's in shadow. And like he walks into the light and it's Locke. It's like, I'm back, baby. And there's like one cheer in the room.
And then like even the hosts are kind of like, yeah, you saw it. The newest Halo is being announced.
Play as everyone's favorite character, Spartan Locke, as he battles the Master Chief in one final showdown.
Oh man, I do you think we'll ever see any kind of Halo 5 stuff or 4 stuff involved in the next Halo?
Oh, dude, I was so convinced this open world was going to lead to like little Destiny-style expansions, and like Lasky was going to show up at some point. Like, I didn't have high hopes. But I'm like, Lasky walks up, Chief, great to see you. Here's the runes of the Infinity. Now we know what happened. You know, like
it sounds like just the biggest fan fiction you could possibly imagine now, because it's like that's almost never going to happen with Infinite, I don't think.
I mean, they have to acknowledge it. Master Chief is on this ring. We don't know where humanity's greatest flagship vehicle ever made is. We don't know where the commander is.
Like, where'd they go? Do they have to do a reboot? Like a hard reboot?
Oh, that would. Dude, Infinite has basically killed all my, like, passion for it. Another reboot? I think I'd have nothing left.
And then make Master Chief a black or a woman, and make make the show the game.
Well, I mean, actually, if they did a total reboot, people have discussed that idea. I don't know. It might not be the worst thing at this point. It's hard to say. Like, if they just like no soft reboot, it's just like, this is a new universe, new Master Chief. We start from scratch. Maybe.
If it's good, they can make it work.
Yeah.
Just that'd be cool. Or something you've been longing for, or would be fine with, is just tell a different story. Yes. Within the Halo universe, just not focusing on Master Chief.
You might not be able to do that, though, with the cliffhanger ending they had, with, like, the Endless have been unleashed.
Oh, sure they can. They did it before. The whole galaxy was there. Just wipe that clean and move on to something else.
Oh, yeah. We start, like Spartan Mark or whatever, right? He's running around on some other alien planet, and it's like, he gets a radio report. It's like, the Endless have been contained by Master Chief on Zeta Halo. No problems here.
Thanks to his sacrifice, we can now rebuild. Where is he now? We don't know. In DLC, probably.
Yeah, Spartans never die. They're just missing in action.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess that's probably a good place to put a pin in it.
I think so. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed our ranting of the latest update. Maybe you can comment on what your favorite updates were, or maybe we're just a bunch of kooks with our opinions. Either way, let us know.
And hey, one more question. Is there anything else you would like to see add to Halo Infinite, and what are the odds of it happening?
We need percentages, like percentage signs, too.
Precise to the point.
Yeah. Make sure to do that. All right, guys. Until next time. See you later. Oh. Yeah.